Hey guys, I know you've been watching these crazy videos and not knowing anything of what's going on, so this is what this video is, to inform you on what has been going on, what has occurred, and why it's occurring. And of course, you see this lady defending her rights, exercising her rights and defending her private property. Her name is Jessica. Beautiful lady, the most beautiful woman in the wide world, the love of my life, and I hope one day she will marry me, and I know we will live happily ever after. The guy who they're searching for, the cops, and who they're hunting down, who they just have to have and throw him in jail and imprison him for life, that's me, Jonathan Abbott. Here I am in the flesh. I wanted to briefly inform you on what has been going on. The backstory is this. I, back in 2017, traded my Jeep in for an Explorer. Why? Because we had more kids than we had seats. So I had to get something bigger for us to travel in. Did that, but it didn't transfer my insurance, which was a terrible mistake. Didn't get insurance on it. Because 32 days later, on a night when I had to travel to work at night on the interstate, I hydroplaned and got into a minor accident. It wasn't bad, nobody got injured, no property was damaged other than mine, and the only person that got injured was me. And that's all that came of it. About a month later, we get pulled over in town in the Columbus, Indiana Republic by an officer from the Columbus Police Department for an alleged loud muffler. Okay, this is the first and only time ever been pulled over for this loud muffler. And the vehicle we were traveling in was Jessica's. I had no ties to that vehicle. I wasn't on the title, I wasn't on the insurance, nothing. No ties to it whatsoever. This officer knew me. He was a classmate back in the day. And that's the only way he was able to identify me, because he knew me. Ran my information on the computer, pulled us over for an alleged loud muffler, which was completely false in its entirety. Gave me a citation and summons, and Jessica had to obviously take the vehicle and drive off with it. I had my license suspended. This was the day I found out my license were suspended from that hydroplaning on the interstate. I had no clue about it. And of course, now I'm left to determine, well, what am I going to do? I had to make an option. I had to make a choice. And any good man and a good father would make this choice. I either had the option to continue traveling in our private conveyance back and forth to work without a driver's license, or have to settle for working at Walmart, Target, McDonald's, somewhere in the local area within my domicile. And that wasn't an option. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because I'm a Carpenter Apprentice. I make dang good money. I'm in a 4-year program where I get a degree. We're going to be set, insurance, all of that. I can't just up and leave that. I can't. This is my pursuit of happiness, and this has fulfilled that pursuit of happiness for me, and I'm not going to leave that just because of my license is suspended. No, not happening. So I did the inevitable and continued to provide for my family in the best way that I saw fit. That was going to take care of them, and that was to continue being a Carpenter Apprentice. And during this time, I started learning the law. I started researching a couple things. Found out so much. Found out that you didn't need driver's license. You didn't need to register your vehicle. You didn't need insurance for it. Why? Because I didn't operate in commerce. I wasn't on the streets and highways making money. I wasn't getting compensated for nothing. Wasn't operating for hire. Wasn't compensating for transporting property or persons. Therefore, I don't need it. And it's amazing. I learned that. So I thought I could, since I got a summons and had to show up to court, I thought I could bring that to court, in a courtroom. I thought I could bring the law and get justified for it and be set free, because I've proven my case. Well, what you're about to bear witness to is that that was completely false. That was the wrong assumption for me to assume. So, I had my initial hearing. Went to the initial hearing, got a paper like this, wrote down, gave it to the magistrate. He read me my rights, asked me if I wanted assistance of counsel, and of course I said yes. At this time I couldn't provide myself for a lawyer because we didn't have money, so I needed to get a public defender, and gave me the piece of paperwork and I walked out. 10 days later, That's when they had the hearing to see if I would qualify for a public defender, and I didn't make it. I didn't fill out the paperwork, nothing like that. Unfortunately, just didn't have time to get around to it. Well, next comes the omnibus hearing. So I go to the omnibus hearing by myself, and there's about 15-20 other people in the courtroom, and I'm about the 5th or 6th man he calls up, the magistrate does. Calls me up. I stand from the audience reading paperwork that I brought in, word for word. He listened to the whole thing. He didn't interrupt me, not one bit. He didn't notify me that this was the wrong process, this is the wrong way to go about it. Nothing. Nothing like that. He didn't rebut nothing. Didn't seem to have a problem with it at all. He sat there and listened for the whole thing. And once I was done, he said, okay, see a bench trial, and that was it. That was a wrap! And I felt that something was wrong there. He's supposed to... I'm entitled, I have the right to know the cause and nature of the allegations, on top of many other constitutional rights that he failed to take care of and uphold. So, I knew something was wrong there. So, when bench trial came, I made sure to bring some friends and family. I brought 3 competent eyewitnesses for my safety. And when we got there, there was 2 individuals. One was there for his bench trial, and he had his girlfriend. And we talked to them, see if they would stay for my bench trial, and they agreed to it. And of course, the whole bench trial lasted for 2 hours, and I was the last one called up, and I figured out why afterwards. Because the magistrate didn't want anybody to bear witness to what he was about to do. And what he was about to do, ladies and gentlemen, was unthinkable. He called me up. I stood from the audience again, speaking on my behalf, defending my case. He wouldn't acknowledge me not one bit. I wasn't allowed to be heard at all. He wouldn't even look at me. The prosecuting attorney, oh, he just had a blast. Up there calling his witnesses to the stand, examining them, and that was it. It lasted 3.5 minutes. That judge took that gavel, said, alright son, you're convicted, guilty, I'll see you at freaking sentencing hearing. Got up and walked out. That was it. There was about 6 police officers there to witness it too. Remember, they all took an oath to defend the constitutions that govern this state. Those officers should have arrested that magistrate right there. They know what due process is, where everybody has a right to be notified and a right to be heard. And I was denied that. Every single bit of it. I couldn't plead my case not one bit. So when he walked out, of course we got up and left. And we were on the 2nd floor at the Bartholomew County Courthouse in the Superior Court too. We walked down the stairs on the 1st floor. And when we got down there, the 2 individuals that stayed behind to witness my bench trial, our friends, they were getting cornered by the doors of the courthouse. 6 officers impeded their right to travel, their right to exit the courthouse, started intimidating them, harassing them. We wouldn't tolerate it one bit. Jessica, the strong woman that she is, walked over there, spread those cops away from them, and they got to walk out peacefully. And that was it. A few months later, come to find out, when they walked out of the courthouse, a few officers followed them, and one detective spit in their face. So they went 2 blocks down to the Columbus Police Department to file a complaint. That complaint we will have, which is also evidence to show and to have back up the validity of my claims, that I was denied due process and that these guys are corrupt. And from then on out, it's been nothing but, as you see in the videos, Jessica grabbing a camera and defending and protecting her property and defending her property and exercising her rights like she should, protecting her family. Officers show up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, not identifying themselves, armed and dangerous, banging on the windows, flashing their flashlights through the windows without a warrant. I'm sorry, but that's not how the law works. Not one bit. She had every reason to open that door and shoot them and be justified in it because the law is on her side. So, That's where you get the defenders of rights. That's where we come in. That's how this whole thing was created. We started watching the First Amendment auditors and learned that we had the First Amendment right to record our public servants. So we have been doing so and will continue to do so because you guys can't handle enforcing the law. You want to enforce your will upon those who are uneducated in this. So that's where you get us. And of course, they're going to Jessica's private property looking for me, and I don't live there at all. That's not my residence. That's not my mailing address. My domicile is the Columbus, Indiana Republic. Far from there. So, they're not justified in anything, especially when they don't have a warrant. Especially when they come at night. They sometimes come throughout the day, as you can see some videos. But still, no warrant. They just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't fathom why they even think they can do that. So, I just wanted to present that information to you, let you know what's been going on. I was denied due process. I'm taking it to the Supreme Court. They're going to overrule his judgment. I'll be able to have my trial by a jury of my peers, and we'll continue from there. Until then, we're going to keep defending and protecting our constitutionally protected and secured rights till the day we die. So, and obviously if anybody needs assistance or help, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Please hit those likes and subscribe, and of course, give us a thumbs up. We're trying our best. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Until our next meeting.